The best way to understand why gold is not an hyperinflation hedge is to look at real examples. We will also look at the situation in Lebanon at the end of this video. In the previous video that I link in the corner here and in the description, we showed that gold is not a hedge against regular inflation. Basically, gold is too volatile to even be an inflation hedge. You might tell me now that I missed the point. Gold is interesting for its hyperinflation hedge. Well, did I tell you that I'm a science doctor by training? Reading the literature on the subject and summarizing it's a part of my job. So here are the results that interest us from the article Golden Dilemma by Harvey and Harvey. Let's imagine a Brazilian investor that bought some gold in 1980. What a good foresight! Brazil has seen between 1980 and 2000 an hyperinflation of, hold your seat, an average annual rate of about 260% for 20 years. At the end of the 20 years, you get an absurd number, something like 13 trillion% of inflation. What a great timing to buy gold for the investor. According to popular belief, this guy might be doing quite well right now, no? The Brazilian currency was devaluated numerous times, and the price of gold increases substantially in Brazilian currency, of course. However, this paper shows that the real price of gold in terms of Brazilian purchasing power fell by about 70% between 1980 and 2000. This means, broadly and illustratively speaking, that by the year of 2000, an ounce of gold had only 30% of its 1980 inflation-adjusted purchasing power. So let me rephrase it. If gold was an effective hyperinflation hedge, you would expect that the gold you bought in 1980 would have almost the same purchasing power in 2000, and not only 30% of what it used to be. Now another example, but it's not on the paper that I'm talking about right now, but in an interview of Harvey, he also points that the gold in Venezuelan purchasing power has fallen more than 60% since hyperinflation started. I will leave the article's link in the description also. How come? Well, there is two factors at play. In the Brazilian case, the first factor is the price decline of 55% of gold on the global market during the same time period. The real return of gold should be more or less the same everywhere on the globe if you adjust for the currency fluctuations and the different inflation rates. Global devaluation of gold is a big threat for people betting on it to hedge local inflation. Said in another way, even gold is too volatile to be an hyperinflation hedge. The second factor to explain why gold is not an hyperinflation hedge is more complex to apprehend, but the issue is that the massive devaluation of the Brazilian currency was combined with an even more important inflation. Gold value was eaten away because in parallel to the local currency devaluation, the prices of everything increased even faster than the devaluation. Now let's switch to Lebanon. Much easier and numbers aren't that absurd yet. If we consider that the economic crisis started in October 2019, by the end of 2020, gold prices went from $1,500 to $1,800 per ounce, to make it simple with the calculation. So given what I just explained to you, you could imagine that the gold owner had a good protection against hyperinflation and even made some profit. And for now, it's actually true if you go by the official sources on the inflation numbers. The local devaluation of the Lebanese pound, which is around 90%, was accompanied by around 130% inflation according to different sources. By using the same methodology as Harvey and Harvey, you found out that with a 20% increase of gold, gold has now 8 times more purchasing power than before the beginning of the crisis. This is extraordinary comparing to the local currency that is almost worthless now. This phenomenon is common with people that had dollars instead of gold. Currently, they are also able to live a lifestyle beyond their original means. But this is according to official sources' numbers. I have trouble believing them for now. If I look around me, most things have multiplied by at least 5 times. I don't understand how they find only 130% inflation. Bread used to cost 1,000 Lebanese pounds and now it costs 5,000 Lebanese pounds. Burger King used to cost 11,000 Lebanese pounds and now it costs 75,000 Lebanese pounds, and I could continue with countless examples. Let's not even talk about gas that multiplied by 20 times. The situation in Lebanon is beneficial to gold owners for now, but I have to remind Lebanese gold owners of the Brazilian situation. As seen before in Brazil, the benefits of having gold were reduced up to the point that you were losing in purchasing power. This happened because the inflation of the prices of everything in the country increased even faster than the devaluation. No one knows if this will repeat itself in Lebanon just like in Brazil or Venezuela. So please be careful and secure your gains. The simple fact that I have to tell people to secure their gold gains proves that even gold is too volatile to be an hyperinflation hedge. So to sum up, if hyperinflation happened in a country like Brazil or Venezuela, gold value and local value will be highly impacted by global gold value, but also by the combination of local currency devaluation and the local inflation. It could happen that gold does not fluctuate a lot globally and that a country suffers massive devaluation with a not so massive inflation. Good owners will then have made quite some profit, but that's a rather specific scenario and only God knows what will happen. This is why altogether I do not recommend having more than 5% of your portfolio in gold, and you should consider this 5% as nothing more than just special insurance, just like having a gun in your place or just like holding Bitcoin. Stay tuned because it will be the subject of another video. So how much gold do you have in your portfolio and why? Let us know. The more knowledge we are able to gather, the more we will be able to help you. So please share, subscribe, like and comment this video to spread the knowledge. You might also be interested in this video. We stay in touch on Instagram and Facebook.